Hello, everyone, and welcome to Episode 3 of the Cliff and Potter podcast.
What's up?
So, there's been some big changes since last week, Cliff. Big game update
Yeah.
6.3.
Oh yeah. Big update.
Big update. We have Galactic Seasons, a new Flashpoint, a little bit of a story update, new rank
Furious
season.
rewards.
Yep, everyone's got them Furious armor sets now.
Exactly. I mean, everyone's got them. I mean, I was talking to my cousin the other day. Apparently, he's got one. Same with my mother-in-law.
Look,
I mean, God, everyone in the game's got that stuff on at this point. Can you believe it?
SWTOR was like, you get one, and you get one, and it's like, everyone's like, yeah, and now people who had them before are like, well, fuck. Now we're not look so unique anymore.
Yeah, apparently they hired Oprah Winfrey to work at BioWare or something like that. Can you believe that?
I'm always happy to get some free shit, that's for sure.
That is true, yeah. So, there's a new story update, Potter. And I know you're like a huge story guy.
Big story guy. Really, all into that RP-ness, yeah. Well,
exactly. So why don't you break it down for us?
Okay, so I did the new Flashpoint, both Inside and Pubside. I gotta say, SWTOR's story updates, which used to be kind of decent. Like, if you think back to like the chapters, right? When they were releasing a chapter like every couple of months, you know, it kind of felt like, even though the chapters themselves were like fucking annoying and all that, at least the chapter progressed the storyline enough that you got like a good morsel of it, and then you were ready for the next chapter, like when you moved on, right? These story updates that they're doing, which is just like 2 cutscenes, like what is this? Or like this Flashpoint, for example, when you do them, you only get the story stuff when you do them in story mode, but they're like,
yeah, no kidding.
It's like, what is the point of this new story onslaught? Like, we're meant to be going back to Imp versus Pubside shit, but then we're just chasing Darth Malgus yet again. It's like, what is the point of this storyline? Like,
not negotiable.
Where are we going with the story? And I feel like it's been like we're game update 3 now, and we still don't know where the fuck we're going with the storyline. And it's like, it's just not the best. Like, it's really, I expect, well, not that you should expect anything from BioWare, but their story content is what draws people to this game, right? That's like a lot of, and like this is going to come up in the later topics that we discuss, but like, people play this game for the story. They count this as KOTOR 3 to 7, whatever, right? And they can't even do story updates well now. And like, I don't mind this idea of using flashpoints as a way to progress the story. Like the way that they did not season 3. The way that they did Shadow of Revan, where you had 4 flashpoints.
The Forged Alliances prelude.
Yeah, but they had 4 flashpoints leading up to a major story update, right? That is a good way. That is a good way of doing it, right? Like, that way, people have their fun. The flashpoints themselves were good flashpoints. You got good story out of those flashpoints, which you can experience in, like, story mode to math mode, doesn't matter. And the storyline was actually kind of interesting. But, like, right now, like, we did Dantooine, right? All cool. And then Malgus is doing something. I'm like, okay, cool, Malgus is doing something. But like, what's the point? Like, why are we chasing Malgus so much? Are we just chasing for the sake of chasing Darth Malgus yet again? Or is there an actual storyline happening? Are we actually going back to Empire versus Republic? Or are we just Empire and Republic just chasing one guy because he's the big bad again? It's just lame storyline. I expect I expect more from Star Wars when this is the one thing that people play the game on, which is story. I expect a decent story, and like, I'm getting none of that now.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that's frustrating, because you did the Flashpoint story mode, is I've done it twice in Master Mode, and like, while story is not like a primary thing for me with this game, it's really disappointing that like you can't experience in this story. There's like no voiceovers, there's no cutscenes, And like, yes, I understand that like I spacebar and pause and tell people to skip, but like, give me like the illusion that there's a story here, because it's really sad how you just go in and there's like these nameless, faceless bosses that don't say anything. I don't know what's happening, but it just like feels like an uprising, or just like I'm killing mobs on like a galactic rampage open world achievement.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know what's happening. Like you completely lose the impressionist painting that something's happening.
Yeah.
Like all the hard work of like even like Spirit of Vengeance, the rooms are very ornate and they put a lot of work into making the instance visually pleasing. But I do not know at all what the story is at all. I have no clue. I can't tell if it's bugged or if they've just designed it that way. It's a horrible design, and
Yeah, it's
I that is a huge drawback for me.
yeah. Like even if you go back and you look at Tython, Korriban, then Depths of Manan, and Into Legacy of Ricardo, there is a
Yeah.
storyline there that you see despite anything. Like, so like you could accidentally do Typhon first, but because I mean the Korriban, say you're a Pupside character, you do
Yeah.
Tython first because that's your second flashpoint in the series, I guess. You can
Yeah.
accidentally do Tython, you get the dialogue, and then you do Korriban later, and like, oh, okay, so we attacked them first, and then they attacked us back, and that's why we would go back to our home planet. Like, that makes sense, and there's a progression in the story. Even though you've never done the storyline, you can kind of get a feel for what the story is to make you want to play it, right? With this,
Yeah.
it's like, what am I doing? Like, what is the storyline? What am I setting up? Because, like, I'm not sure if everyone does this, but like what I do now, what I have done now, is that I have 2 tunes now, or 3, because of the new SWTOR stuff, right? So I have 3 tunes. 1 pub side, which is like story. 1 imp side, which is straight imp side story, and then a SWTOR imp side story, because I don't like SWTOR pub side. Like, I don't have dark side characters. So I've done that, right, and I do the storyline, and I've played these particular tunes from the beginning all the way to now. It's like, what is the point? Like, what? I'm kind of feeling the fatigue of where the fuck is my character going at the end of this? Like, give me something, please, Star Wars. But
Yeah, it really is an illusion that your choices matter, and the story is extremely linear at this point.
It was better, and everyone will agree, I'm pretty sure will agree with this. The game was better when there was 8 separate class storylines, and they were all interwoven than this one storyline that everyone goes down through. And it's just bland and boring and stupid.
Yeah. So I want to talk real quick about the new Flashpoint, and like, I've only done it twice on Master Mode, but it really seems to me like it's really, really undertuned. So like, I can't even tell what the mechanics of some of the bosses are. I'm pretty sure you could do this without a tank. I did it without a tank. You could do it with a healer, but if you have like a coordinated group, you might be able to even like drop a healer and just like all DPS it. Like, the second boss is like 3 bosses, and I don't remember seeing any mechanics. I just used suppressive fire and a sniper, and we killed the fight. That's the only ability I used. And like, stuff like that is really disappointing, because you look at a flashpoint like Objective Meridian, the Corellia flashpoint, those bosses actually have like unique mechanics and are challenging. But when you look at like Spirit of Vengeance and Secrets of the Enclave, those flashpoints are visually pleasing, and they put a lot of time into the artwork, and there's really nice decorations. But I can't tell what the hell the story is, because there's no voice lines, and the bosses are a complete snooze fest. Like, it's just like a parse at this point. I don't even know what's going on in there. You know, I'm just on a sniper, I hit in trench, I do a few ambushes on the boss, and he's gone.
Yeah.
And it's over. Just like that. So, what is up with this? Why are we catering the game to a point where a master mode, Flashpoint Master Mode, which is supposed to be the hardest difficulty, can be done without the actual functional roles of support of like a tank and a healer?
Yeah, it's like like it or not, the way that the game is going at the moment in terms of difficulty is sliding slowly and slowly backwards, right? So, like,
Yeah.
I've only done the Flashpoint in story mode right now, but it is the most snooze fest thing you could ever go through. Like, never mind the fact that, okay, I guess it's story mode, right? But you should get a feel of the fight, so that when you do it in hard mode and you do it in master mode, like, you kind of get a feel for what you need to be doing in the thing. In story mode, you get nothing. Like, okay, a little like red circles pop here and there, and it's like, okay, cool, I need to get out of this circle. But otherwise, like, I don't know what I'm meant to be doing in Master Mode. I'll be as clueless as if I went in without doing any the story mode previously. And it's like, what you said is so true. It's like, if the content, like if in Master Mode or Nim, the content is that snooze fest, it's like, not only are the casual players who don't play that, who don't go into Master Mode because they think it's too hard, not only are they not going to play that content anymore, you're going to get the hardcore gamers, or the people who actually put in the time and effort to get better and all that. They're not going to go into the Master Mode Flashpoint because what's the point? There's no enjoyment out of it because the content doesn't challenge them to do better, to get better, or play better, right? So it's just like, it fails on the design of story, where you would want to repeat it so you can experience the story again. And it fails on the side of it's engaging and interesting content in terms of combat mechanics and all that people want to go again and test their skills.
Yeah, and like it's one of those things where I'm sure you've run into this. It's like one of a few things might be happening that I wonder. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Is our DPS so high that we are like negating mechanics or phases of these fights completely? Are they that undertuned as far as an output check? Or number two, is it just straight bugged and there are mechanics that were implemented that do not exist on the live version of the client? Like, there are fights where I question that. You know what I mean? Where I wonder, maybe there is something to this and it's just bugged. And like that is just bad design when like that is like the possibility. That the fights are so easy, you have to wonder if it's just bugged and not working.
Yeah, like obviously, like I don't think either of us did the flashpoint on the PTS when it was up.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a fundamental flaw here at the design stage of like when you're creating something for people to enjoy, it needs to suit a singular purpose. Right, the main purpose of this flashpoint is what I would assume is just to be a story update, right? So it's meant to be a story update first, and then interesting interesting combat mechanical thing second, right? And it failed on both counts, and like that's the sad thing. Is like at this point, it's like BioWare's just failing on everything.
Yeah, and I wonder if part of the problem is the fact that the people who test flashpoints on the server are, no offense, casual players who like do not get these tunes fight correctly because like they gather the data of like what people are doing, what they're capable of doing, and so those flashpoints get tuned for like bad players who like, just have like no clue what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's why like stuff like Nightmare Operations or Mastermind Operations, as they're now known, are tuned to a level that a lot of those players just like have no shot on them because they actually get tested from people who are much more hardcore. Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, we've definitely talked a lot about this flashpoint. I think we're pretty disappointed in that, but it's funny because I would say the vast player base is, pretty happy with the new flashpoint and disappointed in Galactic Seasons, but we're the reverse. I'm disappointed in the flashpoint, but I'm completely complacent with the new Galactic Seasons. And this is sort of going to be the meat and potatoes of what we talk about today, is Galactic Seasons seems to be poorly received. And that's like the general consensus from like the casual player base. And my opinion, I think it's a little controversial, which is I think it's a completely fine system. It's not great, but the expectations of the population was not in check with what the rewards were going to be, what the objectives were going to be, how long it was going to take us to do it. So I want to know your thoughts about this, Potter. Potter.
Yes, sorry. Look, I like the idea of having a season pass in this game, something that people can work towards every single day. Like, have a reason to log in, because like, I guess for some people at this point in time, they just log in for like one particular activity and then never do anything else. So, I like the idea of Galactic Seasons making people branch out and do different things.
Yeah, and like there was a huge. Well, not a huge, but a huge discussion. It was a post that wasn't too long about the opinion on Galactic Seasons from a casual perspective. And this player writes, "It's bad, it's not fun, more like an annoying chore. With Conquest, I can just do stuff I enjoy and still complete it. With 4 priority quests at max, there isn't enough variety of quests that most types of players can complete." This player says, this week they got to complete an operation or 3 of the layer instance Geno Queens, and they say, I'm not good enough to run ops. Their internet isn't stable, so that's like an issue for them. And they say that they need to do four Starfighter matches for the other ones, which they don't want to do. So here's my counterpoint. And again, I'm in the minority here. So the entire purpose of this system was to get players to do different part of the game, so that they can collect data and say, hey, look, people are playing Galactic Starfighter, people are doing PvP, people are doing heroics, people are doing all this different content in the game. This is good for their numbers. It's good to justify doing an expansion. It's good to justify making a new operation. But a lot of these players who are casual want to do the same boring, heroics over and over again. So here's my counter argument. A player like this is probably a very good Flash mode player. The truth is, Groove Finder story mode operations are extremely easy. There's a 25-second combat res. So even if someone does die, you can revive them every 25 seconds as long as you have a DPS with heal who has a 5-minute battle res. This is promoting players to play in an MMO as an MMO. A lot of these people want to play as role-play content where they're, stuck in their stronghold alone or doing heroics alone. Fine. Well, here's my argument to them. If you don't want to do the weekly, which give the most points, which actually get you to do easy content that is not what you are used to doing, you don't have to do it. This whole battle pass season 1 is going to last like 5 months. Even if you don't do every weekly objective, you're still going to get to level 100. It's just going to take a little bit longer. Just because you only do one part of the game doesn't mean that you have access to everything. You don't get access to ranked PvP rewards if you don't do it. You don't get access to mounts and titles that you only get from Nightmare Operations, and that's completely fine. To that same extent, you might not be, able to get every Galactic Seasons thing quickly. If not, you could just use cartel coins to unlock it anyways. Like, there's so many ways for you to get everything done. You don't have to do this linear path of only doing one thing or another. The entire purpose of the system, I really want to drive this home, is they are trying to get you to do other content. That is the entire purpose. When you say, I'm mad, I have to do stuff I don't want to do, guess what? That was the entire point of them doing this to begin with. It wasn't so that you could just do your boring conquest objectives of heroics every single day. It was meant to make you branch out. That's why you get a random one every week, to do something different. They don't even ask you to win your PvP match. They don't even ask you to win your Starfighter. You could go on your Starfighter and crash into an asteroid 20 times in a row if you really want to. Now, you might piss off your group, but the bar is so low, you don't even have to participate in a meaningful manner, and you can still get the reward.
Yeah.
It's not asking to actually accomplish anything. Story mode ops, easy. PvP stuff, you can lose and still get your thing done.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you there, but I kind of want to point this out. Like, this is a issue that BioWare has made themselves, because they've catered to this particular group of people who were like, I just want to do heroics, I just want to do story, I just want to do this, and then, but at the same time, because I'm only doing this, I want to get access to everything in the game, which honestly is not, like, if I do heroics all day, sorry to say, but I should not have BIS gear. I should not have 306 gear at this point in time, because, like, I'm just doing heroics. Like, at best, doing heroics should give me maximum 300 gear. And I'm not saying that to be dickish or elitist to those people who just play heroics. But at the end of the day, this game has checks and balances. Like, for me, for example, I really wanted the Furious rewards this season. And I hate, before like 2 seasons ago, I hated PvP. Yeah, every now and again I'll do a regs just to have fun with it. But I would never go into ranked, because I wasn't anywhere good enough to do ranked. But then I was like, okay, the season rewards have come back. What do? Do I just skip the season, don't get the rewards, and then bitch and moan about, oh no, I didn't get the season 3 rewards? No, that's not what I did. I started going into ranked PvP. I copped a lot of flame from like random people who were like, why are you so shit for? And then I got better, and then eventually I got like season 13
you get your
titles.
tokens.
Yeah, I got my tokens, I got some titles. Like, yeah, look, I got better, I improved, I got my rewards. That's the whole point of playing this game.
And like you were saying, like, players getting, like, for example, the gear, like, from doing heroics, the problem is, like, these players don't realize, first of all, when you're doing like heroics, the vast majority of that content on planets your mastery and power are capped, and your gear is completely capped. What this means is if you have 306 gear, it makes no difference to if you just had like a weapon and an offhand on at the same time. The only thing you would miss is tertiary stats, but you don't even need these stats to do heroics. They're so undertuned. A Shade Vizsla companion put on DPS can solo everything in the instance for you without you pressing a single button. So, like, what do you even need this gear for? So, it's one of those things where players feel entitled to something, and that relates to Galactic Seasons as well. And here's another point I saw from this thread, which, by the way, all these people saying things that I disagree with are like, upvote 60, upvote 50, upvote 40. And all the people I actually agree with are like minus 11. So we're going to get to those in a minute. But here, let me read this one comment. Someone got minus 7 for saying, in response to this casual player complaining, he said, then don't do it. Simple. It's not meant to be fast. It's supposed to last a number of weeks, which I agree with. Like I said, you don't have to do the things if you don't want. You'll have plenty of time to get to level 100. You don't have to do everything every single week or day, and you'll still get 100 levels. And here's what a player responded, and he's upvoted all the way, of course. He says, as a longtime player, I'm used to grind. This is something else. The grind is ridiculous. The rewards are too expensive, and the currency is scarce. Okay, I can see why the currency is scarce. You don't get many galactic tokens. You get 14 for a full season. But it's like a grind. Are you kidding me? Let me explain what this grind is real quick for people who don't know. So your daily objectives are either 75 Rampage on Alderaan, Balmorra, Corellia, Nextshore, or Onderon, 75 Rampage on a core world planet, 3 heroic missions on a core world, Black Hole Dailies core world. All these things literally take 10 minutes if you have a brain. 1 reg match, 1 GSF, again 10 minutes, and you don't even have to win. You could sit in a corner and get this done. And then also 4 starter planets Rampage and Coruscant German Cost Rampage. Those all are so easy, it's a joke. The longest thing you could argue on here to take is 3 heroics. I got a trick for everyone here in chat, so listen up. If you get 3 heroics for Alderaan, Balmorra, and Corellia, here's what you do. You press Control G and you go to heroic Alderaan. There's a heroic called Spring Thaw on Impside. The heroic makes you investigate a crash site. Literally, the entire mission, you right-click a box and the heroic ends. So if we're complaining about this grind, all you have to do is click a box 3 times on 3 tombs, and you got your priority objective done. And that's literally the longest daily priority objective right there. So if people are saying that's a grind, we might be having some, issues here that go beyond SWTOR, like where people are complaining about this. So that blows my mind. And then here, let's take a look at the weeklies. So number 1, you have to do either 1 story mode operation, so like Duxon, Scum and Delnate, something like that, or you can do Hive of the Geno Queen 3 times. Hive of the Geno Queen is one of the easiest instances they've ever put in this game. And you could actually do it without any tanks or healers. It's so easy. You have a 25-second battle res, and all you have to do is fight the boss. You can ignore every mechanic and just tunnel the boss, and you'll still kill it. It's so foolproof, it's impossible to fail. It is literally impossible. You get bolstered in it, and you don't have to have any sense of what you're doing. You can auto-attack the boss, and you'll kill it. So as far as these players saying they can't do story mode ops, they are easier than master mode flashpoints at this point because of the combat res. So I don't know what this is all about. Literally, the flashpoints they do is harder than the operation.
Yeah.
And again, you don't even have to do it. You'll still get your battle pass done. You go slow. So 3 more things. Weekly, 3 flashpoints through Route Finder. This is by far the longest thing, but super easy. Veteran flashpoints, they have like healing canisters everywhere. There's no way anyone has problems with that. And then the other 2 weeklies, 3 reg matches. You don't have to win them either for PvP. There's no way anyone cannot complete this. Regs pop all day. And then the final one is complete 4 GSF matches. Again, there's no requirement for you to win, and GSF pops very often on Starforge and Darth Malgus, and it even pops on Satil Sham a lot. It's so easy to do. You could fly into an asteroid and get it done in 4 games. And if you decide not to do it, you might actually have fun, because GSF is the game mode that has no frame rate drops, no desync. It's like the only mode that is like has no engine flaws in it. It's actually a great mode, and it has a big population. So there's games always popping. The end. All right, Potter, you have anything to say in response to that?
Yeah, I was also going to say, like, so Cliff just outlined the week 1, but like it's the exact same like the entire way. The only thing that changes in Galactic Seasons is where the events or the flashpoints or the operations that you do change. So like this week it's Core World, so that's why you're doing Geno Queen and all that. But then next week I think it's going to the hut space. Let me double check. No, next week is going to the distant outer rim. So instead of going to say like Alderaan, Corellia and all them, you're going to Belsavis, Hoth, and Tatooine. And you're doing the exact same missions, and then the operations change from SNV and Duxon to EV, EC, Tower, and Ravagers. So you even have more options next week. So it's not like Galactic Seasons is changing every week. It's going to be the same thing, just at different planets. This is like this thing about it's going to be a grind and all that. It's not a grind. People are just complaining. They just want things to be easy. And like I get it. Like people play this game to have fun from a bad day of work and all that. But at the same time, it's a game that other people put a lot of effort into, a lot of dedication into, and they want to have a good experience playing the game. So it's like, okay, we get your concerns, but like listen to the other people's concerns about saying this shit's too easy. Like, what, killing 75 things on a planet? Wow, like that is.
That is like the easiest thing you could possibly.
Pardon for sounding elitist here, but like, what the fuck? Like, is this what the content is being degraded to? That I just have to kill something 75 times and I get fucking rewards out of it? Like, what am I? Like, to quote Cliff here, am I a sheep? Am I just a sheep in BioWare's eyes? I'm just gonna go around to each of these planets and kill something. How fun, yay!
Yeah. So, and here, real quick, okay, let's talk about this. Level 1, which you get for just logging in because you get points, like after 4 days, you get the companion. That's like the big thing. You get the companion at level 1, people. So you're done with that, okay? And throughout the season, you get rewards, which people are complaining about being bad. They're not that bad. They're free. What did you expect? The companion gifts are terrible. That's a complete hilarious joke that they're giving companion gifts. I mean, just go get your Commander's Companion for 4 million credits and 3 Dark Projects, and you got him auto 50. In fact, that's the first thing I did when I got the Companion. But you get 4,000 cartel coins if you do the whole season. Wow, that's actually pretty generous. You know, that's like, like $35, $40 with the companion gifts or cartel coins. You get a bunch of unique decorations that are interactable. That's good. You get a few titles, a stronghold label. You get 14 of the Galactic Season tokens, so you can get old rewards from pre-orders, Rise of the Heart Cartel, Coffee, Shadow Revan that you missed out on, and you get a new stronghold. Okay? This is all for free, people. You don't have to pay for any of this crap. And even if you, at the end of the day, if you don't want to do the Galactic Seasons, you can pay. So what are people even thinking about here? You can pay for the whole thing for free if you really are that passionate about getting your companion gifts. Just pay for it.
Well, I just want to interject here. There is a difference between the free-to-play and the subscriber passes, right? So, like, if you're a subscriber, everything Cliff said, yeah, that's true. But for free-to-play players, I don't think they get any cartel coin rewards. But at the same time, you're not paying for the game. You're playing it for free. You should not be getting everything from a battle pass or anything like that. If you only get so much as you give, and if you're not paying for this game, which is by all means, that's fair, that's your right. Like, not everyone can pay for a subscription all the time, but you're not going to get everything. And if you are saying that, then that's just you being entitled. Because if you're not going to pay money for a game that you're playing, it's the same thing. Like if you don't pay for music and you illegally download it, right? Like, you can't complain if the music's shit if you're not paying for it, right? Just like the same sort of premise here. If you're not paying for the game, you shouldn't be getting everything out of it.
Yeah.
And to those people say the free-to-play rewards are shit, well then, pay for the game.
Yeah, and so I want to point out something else. Let's say after all this, which is like the hilariously most easy casual grind ever. It's not even a hard grind. Let's say you can't get to level 100 because you just can't muster up the strength to do a TC farm here and there, okay? Now listen here. If you get like halfway through, you can spend your Galactic Season tokens on a vendor for the stuff that's at like level 80 or 90 with your tokens. So even if you don't make it all the way, you just go to the vendor and get your stuff. Hello, people. Are we really this stupid? Come on. So you could do that right there, and you're all set. Let me see if there's another comment I agree on that was downvoted to hell on the Reddit. Probably. Here's a player. Here, I would like to read this. So this is in response to this whole, people are mad, it's so hard, and such a grind. Read this. Listen. Casual sounds like another descriptor for lazy or soft in this game. case. Going out of your way to complete the dailies? Is travel to another planet really that burdensome nowadays? Too heavy of a task to want 75 of a creature, which gives you 3 conquests completed, also if you do it, or 3 heroics on a world? I agree with this guy completely. The weeklies aren't supposed to be solo activities. They're the big point hauls in one burst. You didn't think that you'd get to turtle up in a quick solo anti-social bubble for those, did you? Whether it's 4 GSF matches, 1 operation, or 3 Warzone matches? If you couldn't be bothered to show initiative, to learn by asking an ops leader how to proceed on an ops run, that's on you. You get 1 reroll per week of the weekly kind, 1 daily reroll per day. How badly do you want the rewards? If you want them badly enough, you'll do the work. Thank you. And then he leaves the quote from Coffee. A man can have anything if he's willing to sacrifice. I thought that was hilarious and a complete jab at the RPers. I completely agree. This guy's -10. He's getting my upvote. In fact, everyone here on the podcast, let's go up this guy. Let's get him to the top of the page, because I completely agree with this.
Yeah,
But, come on.
that is essentially it. Like, the game said it the best way. Like, if you want to get something, you're going to have to sacrifice for it. And it's like, it's just...
Yeah.
Like, I think, like, this is... I'm pretty sure this is a problem in every MMO. But, like... It's just, like, over the top in this one. I don't know if it's because, like, half the player base in this game is free to play or something, or preferred. I'm not too sure. So, like, they don't do everything in the game. They just think this game's a story game, when it's like, we've said this countless times in the other couple of episodes. It's like, this game is an MMO RPG, not an RPG that happens to be an MMO. The MMO comes first, and the MMO stands for massively multiplayer online game. That is what an MMO is. So if you can't hack the MMO part of this MMORPG, then I don't know why you're playing this game.
So first of all, the armor sets in here aren't that great from the Galactic season. I'll give you that, but they're free, so you get them. These people who say, like, well, I can't get them, I can't do heroics, they're too hard for me, I can't do a TC farm. Listen to this. You had no problem spending $10,000 on your bounty hunter outfit. What's the issue with just buying the battle pass then? Hello? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, oh, you really want this, like, bronze tier armor set that bad? Well, then just pay for it. You know? That's what doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, hello? Are these people even going to really use this armor set? Are we being real with ourselves here? No, they're not. And, yeah, the companion gifts are ass on here. But everything else, all the other rewards, they're good, they're free. You get 4,000 crypto coins. You do a couple dailies. That's all you got to do for it, people. I mean, this isn't rocket science. That's all I got to say about it, Potter. You have any closing thoughts on this?
Well, not really. Like, we've pretty much said everything at this point. Like, this is the first time they're implementing something. So obviously there's going to be some things that were bad. Like, you can't really do a PTS testing cycle for Galactic Seasons. That's like, you're not going to be able to see everything. You're not going to see, like, how it's going to get implemented and all that stuff. So, like, for a first time thing, like, it's pretty decent. Like, it's one of their better updates that they've done in a long time now. Could it be better? Yes. Could it be, like, more intriguing for, like, the more experienced players? Yes. Could it be easier for the casuals out there? Yeah, I guess it could be as well. But, like,
but that's not the point of the system.
Yeah, but
their exact point of making the system was to get players to do stuff they don't normally do. That's why you can't just do whatever you want. You have to do a GSF match or something.
Yeah, that's
the point of it, people. That we're not even, like, in the same room here where these people are looking. Hello, they're trying to get you to do stuff you don't normally do, and it's even easy. And you could crash into an asteroid if you want to. You don't even have to play for real. Like, the bar is so low, it's below vanilla gorilla at this point. Okay. Some people will know what that means. If you don't worry about it. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
So, one more thing I want to say. I think one of the reasons people get this expectation for the system is it's in the same tab as login rewards. Now, login rewards, in case you don't know, people, you click a button and you get the reward. People wanted to look at Galactic Seasons and click a button and get the reward for free. I think that's the issue. And they realized, oh no, I have to do 3 Alderaan heroics? That's like the biggest grind in the game ever. How am I ever going to get my companion gifts? And that's like the whole... So yeah, what do you think about that? Do you think it's because it's sort of tied to the login rewards and people expect, they're like a little baby. Gimme, gimme, gimme.
Yeah,
You think that's why?
I think they should have separated it just in terms of UI. Like honestly, they should have put it next to the Conquest tab. To be honest, personal preference there, simply because it is not tied to logging in. Like the only thing you get from logging in every single day in terms of Galactic Plus is every 4 days if you're a subscriber. So it's not even for free to play players. You get I think 6 extra points. Yeah, you get 6 extra points every 4 days, which is like that's fine, whatever. But like
it's a full level.
Yeah. But it's not tied to login rewards in any way, shape, or form.
Well, it's in the same tab.
Yeah,
like
that's
no,
the only
I
thing
disagree
here.
with that.
Well, no,
here's no. Let me explain. I think because it's in the same tab, this seems like a natural extension of login rewards.
Yeah,
login rewards and battle pass sort of seem to go hand in hand, and I think that's where the confusion is.
Yeah,
I think players login rewards you click, you get it for free. They thought Galactic Seasons was the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like they don't have any correlation apart from being on the same place in the UI, which probably makes people think, oh, okay, it's kind of similar when it's not. It's completely two separate systems that don't really have much correlation with each other. It should be, as I said, next to the Conquest tab, next to your Guild Invasions tab. It should be there, but that's BioWare for you.
Exactly. They can't. Well, and I mean, it makes sense because, like, with the resources they have, they're going to just, like, build it into the Conquest tab or something. Like, I can understand their reasoning there to save production time. But yeah, I think players are confused, like, hey, how come when I give my companion a gift, I get, like, 2,000 Conquest points? Why don't I get, like, a Galactic Reward level to get another companion gift? Yeah. That's what they're confused about. Yeah. It's like, it doesn't work that way. Sorry, it didn't work that way on PTS. If you're a casual player, this is very viable to do. If you really are this, special and can't do it, you could just pay for it. Otherwise, you could just take your time, do your heroics, wait 5 months, and you'll get everything done. You don't have to do the weeklies every week.
Well,
the end.
Speaking of paying for the Galactic Seasons, I do want to bring this up because we were talking about this before the podcast started. This idea of paying... So everyone starts at level 1, but to skip directly to level 100 to finish out the battle pass on the very first day, you pay 10,000 cartel coins. Now you get reimbursed, I guess, 4,000 from the actual rewards in the pass.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like 6k all up, but you actually need to have 10k. So what do you think about this skipping ahead mechanic of using cartel coins?
Okay, so here's my entire thing about the whole paying. First of all, I'm happy if players want to pay. That's completely fine with me. The rewards don't seem that exclusive to me, and if players want to pay, I'm completely happy for that. I'm happy to have this game get funded by people who just want to pay. Happy with that. Here's the problem I have. I think the paying feature should have been a catch-up feature only. What that means is, if you've done every single point every day, right now all players are level 7. In my opinion, the players who pay should only get to level 7. Right now. So, what that means is, if you wanted to get to level 100, you would have to wait until the other players got there just by grinding it normally. And the counterpoint to that is, and I understand, battle passes in Call of Duty, Fortnite, shooters, all games like that, you can buy it on day 1 in those games, so why should it work here? But then, you have to remember, in those shooter games, there's no limit on the XP on the battle pass for players who do it normally. In Star Wars, there is. There's 2 daily, 2 weekly. And the login reward that gives 8 after 4 days. After that, I can't just continue to push, and get extra points to get to level 100 on day 1, because we all know I'd be doing that right now, running TC farm all day if that was an option. That's not an option, so I just wish people had to wait to get the new stronghold until players got it normally. And I do sort of understand their thinking, because they say, well, if that exists, players won't pay, not as many players will pay. They probably did the research on that. But that's my opinion. Do you agree with this sentiment, Potter?
Like, at the end of the day, like, this is MMO, they need to make money. So, like, I completely understand that by letting people buy the way to the whole thing, it's a money grab. I think if you look at it long term, in terms of that, I think that SWTOR would actually make more money if they force people to subscribe to get all the rewards and actually play it through. Then, because like right now, all you could do, like theoretically, is that you pay for your sub so you get both reward tracks, and then you buy 10,000 cartel coins. You've got both things. You can let your sub cancel out at the end of this month, and you've got everything, right? So
Yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure if you made people forced to subscribe for the how many months they made it take, I think you would get more money out of that. But like, it's here or there, to be honest. The main problem that I have with using cartel coins is that I think it's like, I guess for me and you, because we want the stronghold, like having to grind up to like level 70, and it's not really a grind. I'm just using it as a term because you're going from 1 to 7.
We are time caps. Yeah, like players like you are time cap, not grind cap.
Yeah.
We're time cap.
Yeah, but because we have to wait so long to get the thing that we really wanted out of this pass, which is the stronghold, while other people can just pay 7,000 cartel coins, skip ahead. Like, it kind of sucks. It's pretty shitty. It's like it makes you feel like you're not valued as a player when you're doing it. You're playing the game how they intend it. Like, they just made a change in an operation because we weren't playing the game how they intended it to. But now people can skip it. It's like kind of like hypocritical, but just saying. But otherwise, like, it's not really that big of a deal. Like, it sucks that I can't decorate my new apartment as well, like right now, like everyone else is who paid for it. Just like, sure, whatever. Like, it's just another thing that BioWare has done that just pisses people off.
Yes, I agree. I agree entirely. It's not the end of the world. It's just, in my opinion, it's just too bad that it exists this way.
Yeah, just want to comment on stream. Yes, Replica. They did grind the stronghold. So the new stronghold. So first of all, what they've done is they released 2 strongholds. One on the imp, one on the pub, on the fleet. Now both those strongholds cost 8 season tokens, and you only get a maximum of 15. So not only did they gate it to like level 70, because that's when you get your 8th or 7th token, I can't remember. Not only did they do that, but you can't even get both until 2 seasons of this Galactic Season passes, whatever. So it's like, I kind of get it. They want to like spread it along. They want people to keep playing the game and all that, but at the same time, it just feels scummy. Like, instead of them making 2 new rewards for 2 seasons, so like this season we get stronghold rewards, and next season we get something new. We might get a new stronghold, we might get something else. No, what they're doing is saying, those rewards you didn't get last season, do it again, and you can get those rewards now. So it's like they're doing the ultimate tactic of BioWare stalling, where they gate some rewards from one season, so you do it again to get them back. It's like, why? Why can't you just make new rewards again, and then we continue on? Like, they're just being lazy. They're not putting in the work, and they're taking us for fools.
Yeah, 14 galactic tokens if you do all 100 levels. No way to get more at all. The stronghold is 8. You would need 16 for both, so you have to wait till next season to get 2 extra levels to get to both strongholds. So it's just unfortunate. Players like you and me, Potter, who like decorating strongholds, even if we did pay, which we aren't going to, we're going to have to wait 5 months until there's a new season to get the pub side one, because I assume we're both going to get the imp side one first. And that's too bad. That to me is, I guess, probably the biggest issue I have with the system.
Well, we're having a couple, like 10 minutes or so left, so let's go on to our final topic, which is Season 14 of Ranked PvP, starting up again with game update 6.3, and the final, the release of the Season 3 rewards, the Furious Weapons and Armor sets. What are your thoughts? What do you think?
Well, I'm happy to get them back, obviously, because I was a player who missed out on a lot of these rewards because I wasn't playing ranked PvP back then. And I'm happy with how they are. They're a bit expensive, even with the token change, but that's okay. And most players are going to be able to get all the things they want. For the completionists, it's going to be a bit more difficult to get all the tokens for everything. But I think all the armor sets look, pretty good. I think the mounts are excellent. I think the weapons are amazing. I even think that, decoration, the pleasure barge is amazing. I'm going to use it in my stronghold. I'm really happy with all that. As far as the new rank season, though, I'm a little disappointed there's no new class balance changes again. So we're going to our season where, the meta is fairly stable. There's been no disruption to classes or set bonuses. Not much on a greater scale. There's a few bug fixes to classes instead of bugs. And Ultraviolet Blast was changed, obviously, but I don't think we're going to see any players really using that in PvP. Other than that, it's unfortunately probably going to be another long season, the same way Season 13 was extremely long. Then there's a really long grace period for them to release rewards. I'm guessing this season's going to go all the way into late fall, just like how last season was really long. This might be 6 months minimum, but it might go until 2022. That would be my expectation. And I'm hoping that they keep the replica rewards on for a little bit longer because they weren't totally clear. Basically, this next season, you'll have a chance to get tokens again. 37,500 bronze, 75,000 silver, 150 gold, 225 top 3. I just hope that those tokens can be used to purchase these replica rewards when those token grants go out in like 6 or 8 months, and then you get a chance to get your, replica rewards before they're completely gone. That's the only thing I'm a little worried about, but I'm looking forward to seeing them bring new rewards. They actually released an article already saying what the titles are going to be for next season, all that stuff, which is, surprising they're doing it at the beginning now. I guess it's for the better. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, ranked is business as usual. There's not much change. A lot of the seasons really flow together at this point. They don't really have an identity. Maybe the early seasons did. Really seasons 10 through now 14, all the seasons kind of, mesh together. The meta's fairly similar, especially with 12, 13, and now 14. And the rewards are obviously all replicas, besides a handful of new armor sets. And the new stuff for Season 13, the new armor set, just really is not that great. And that's about the only new reward.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel like right now, this game is... Not that it requires a class balance change. It needs something to kick something into gear. Because right now, as you said, the content in this game, in the combat sense, is really stale. Like, you see the same sort... Like, PvP matches, it's the same classes over and over again. If you're not playing stealth in PvP, it's like, what are you doing with your life? Or you're playing a PT and you're just jumping in, you're trying to do as much damage as you can before you inevitably die. It's like... It is...
There needs to be a shuffle.
Yeah, there needs to be a major change in how the classes interact with each other and everything in PvP. And like that's coming from someone who only did ranked PvP last season, really, properly. And that was only at the beginning and the end of the season, because like the season lasted for so goddamn long. But so like they need to make a big change. And I'm not saying like give us new set bonuses or anything like that. I'm talking about like an actual class balance, like change the values of abilities, change the value of stuns or whatever. Like they need to do something like that to make the meta like shift again and change and be dynamic. Because right now, it's like it's bland, it's boring, it's stale. You see the same things over and over again. You get stuck in a tank healer game, like you're bored because it always goes down to the thing that breaks the tank healer game right now is the what's it called, the toxic thing at the end of the thing when you run out of the time. That's what
Acid.
Yeah, the acid. That's what's breaking a tank healer game, not any skill of the players or anything like that. It's just
I do think you can. I disagree with that. I think kills can happen in tank healer games, but I think the larger point you're trying to make, which I agree with, is it's business as usual. Forcebound is dominant again. Concealment operatives are common. Fury marauders are common. Power techs are common. The same classes are common. Sith assassin. They all run the same tacticals, same amplifiers, this and that. There's not much variety. So a simple shift or shuffle of utilities, class damage, set bonuses, new set bonuses would fill the void of content. Really, class balance changes are content for ranked PvPers. That is the true content. So I guess that's the one thing. And I would also say there's the win requirement now for bronze, silver, 20, 40. It's 80 wins for gold. I think it's 160 for top 3. I'm not a fan of that, but I understand why it exists, especially for top 3. But that's one thing that is definitely like a large grind as far as like going for gold. You have to really invest a lot of time to one character.
Yeah. And I
But
think,
you got like 10 months to do it, so there you go.
yeah, and I think that thing is just simply for those people who just win trade and stuff. Like, you have to get like,
Yeah.
like this will personally affect me because I really hate like. This is the reason why I get my rewards at the end of the season. Is like maybe if they changed how the rank tokens works, and instead of like right now it's earned off your highest earned on that tune. So like yesterday I was doing solo ranked, my highest earned on my Mao was like 1266, right? So I qualify for bronze rewards once I get my wins, right? Maybe if they want to really combat win traders and all that stuff, they make it based off your current, which will like affect me because like me keeping up a bronze rating is probably not going to happen. So I'll probably like miss out on all the rewards. But like if they want to, I think because they put the win requirement to counteract the win traders and all that. So it's like maybe that could be a change. I would personally hate it, but like just thinking it objectively, if they want to solve that issue, that could be a way of doing it.
Yeah, or just remove top 3 entirely. Honestly,
Yeah.
I know, but like that would also remove a lot of the exploitive behavior happening in PvP.
Harry Potter.
But yeah, I think that about covers everything, don't you think, Potter? Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I think that's pretty much it. We did make the choice not to talk about the Duxon changes this week. Not only did we talk about Duxon last week, personally, me and Cliff haven't experienced the new Apex changes yet, so we don't want to talk about that topic until we have done it ourselves, experienced it, and see what it means for the groups that we play in. So that's why we haven't talked about the Apex changes this week.
Yeah, but we're definitely going to do that next week, and there might be a special guest next week. We'll just have to wait and see. No promises yet.
No promises on a special guest, but we are trying. Yeah,
so yeah, Cowabunga, that's about everything. And next week, we're going to talk about the Nightmare Duxon changes, how late it was into the tier, ramifications for players and groups progging it, using a different strat versus a new strat. It should be a lot of fun, and I'm sure we'll get into some more topics. So yeah, until next week, go do your heroics, go ram into an asteroid in GSF, get your weekly done, do whatever you got to do, get it done. Potter, you get the last word.
Yep. I think we'll just sign it off there. Thanks everyone for tuning in again to episode 3 of the Cliff and Potter podcast, which we really should find a better name for, but we haven't. But do stick around after this. I'm going to take a short break, but I am doing a God sale. Yay. I don't know what you were doing, Cliff, after this. But yeah. So thanks everyone for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed and you're finding these podcasts interesting. Like, if they're not interesting, at least they will laugh, I hope. Like, just trying to provide some entertainment for you guys. But yeah, thanks for watching.
See ya.